Servus and hello, my name is Fireball313 and this is a new episode of Beyond the Game. Today I have again 4 awesome physical games what I would like to present, and the first title is an Wii U exclusive, and this one is Lego City Undercover for, like I said, for the Wii U. This game came out in March 2013 and was a very important title for the Wii U. Like I said, it was an exclusive back then, and the Wii U didn't have so much exclusives in this case. And everybody was, of course, interested. What is it about? Because it already says Lego City Undercover, so it's not based on a license like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars, something like that. No, this is just the Lego City license. And when people always ask me what kind of gameplay can I expect here, I always say this is basically Grand Theft Auto for children. Yeah. By the way, this was one of my Christmas presents in 2013 because I was a fan of the Wii U. I loved the console back then, and the tablet controller. I thought this was quite innovative, and I was hoping really for new experience with the tablet controller. And Traveler's Tales, who created this game, really wanted to push, this device to show what is really possible. At least I didn't want to have the limited edition back then. I just wanted to have the basic game. And my girlfriend wanted to surprise me with the limited edition, even if I didn't know that there was a limited edition. Yeah, and I got really surprised because it comes with a small little item, let's say it like that. Yeah. What is important to know about the storyline? I mean, yeah, this is GTA gameplay. This is an open world. You can enter almost every building. You can capture a lot of vehicles, and I think even helicopters, things like that. But in this case, you're not a gangster. You are a cop, and you go undercover. And later, you can even change your appearance, and you are a gangster. And with every suit what you collect, you have some special abilities, yes. And the main task is to defeat a crime boss. I think his name was, let me think, Rex Fury, yeah. There was a spin-off actually on the 3DS that was Lego City Undercover, The Chase Begins. No, it was a standalone prequel, sorry, yes. And later in, let me think, 2017, Traveler's Tales released this also, or re-released Lego City Undercover for the PlayStation 4, for the Windows PC and Xbox One, and I think even later, shortly later, even for the Nintendo Switch. Yes, I liked the game quite well. And I saw the potential in the tablet controller, but you saw some problems with the game showed you some problems with the console. You had a low draw distance, and a lot of frame rate issues. And what was really bothering me, and not just me, a lot of people who played that, was really the long loading times. Yeah. But I don't want to talk too much about the game, because here is it about the limited edition, yes. And what do you get? Back then, the game was just a standard price, and the limited edition was 10 or 15 euro more expensive. Yeah, and for that, actually, you get just 2 things. You get this nice box, and it says already here, an exclusive minifigure, what is inside. And that is everything. And that is a letdown. Yes, a real letdown. I was hoping for a little bit more because it's called limited edition. Yeah. Okay, but first let's look at the package. And the package is not really cheap. It is really strong material, and it has a nice coat here on top. And it shines even a little bit. Yes. So that is nice. This gives some kind of quality feel to the whole experience. Here on top, you have even, and that is really nice, you have here the Lego City Undercover logo, here's Wii U, and then there is even some screenshots here on top. That is nice. So that is Chase McCain, by the way. And the side looks like that. And this is the bag, and it says, go undercover as Officer Chase McCain using the Wii U gamepad, your ultimate detective tool. Yes, and it's not just a map. You can detect even footprints on the ground. So there's a lot of varieties, and the gamepad looks in the game like this, you know. Yeah, so it was, actually they used it quite well, I would say. Yeah, and then you have some 1-2 screenshots and a lot of information here, but not so important. By the way, Lego City comes to life. And I must say, even with all the shortcomings on the Wii U, the feeling of Lego City to be in a city, what is really pulsating, you know, really alive, was really cool, you know, and a lot of humor you will find, and a lot of hidden secrets. And yeah, this is not just a game for children. This is even a game for adults who are Lego fans also, or want to experience a very interesting open world experience. Let's say it like that. Yeah, so let's open this up and let's see what we will get. And first we get the standard game, and then the figure. And that is basically everything. That's it. That's the limited edition. And yes, and like I said, this is a letdown. Yeah, let's look first at the standard packaging. And I was hoping that I get, I don't know, maybe a poster, a menu or something. No, they really just made this box. They put the standard game in it, and on top this exclusive figure, and then they call it a limited edition. Yeah, real bummer. The back, unfortunately, is already a little bit damaged, you know, because of the stupid box, and that was my fault, so I don't blame Nintendo or anybody in this case. Yeah, you have the same information here. Also, there's nothing extraordinary when you open it. It's just like the standard version, and then you get, wow, you really don't believe that, you get a small menu and some basic information. And of course, the Wii U DVD. And by the way, I think you guys know this already, but I like the design of the Wii U DVD because it has this smooth edges here, and this really, it feels always nice, you know, to do that. Every time when I see a Wii U game, I must do this. I don't know, some kind of tradition. Yes. Okay, let's look at the manual. And the manual is actually just a quick guide in many languages. I think in 6 languages, something like that. Yeah, and the first one is, of course, English. Yeah, and there they don't tell you anything about the storyline and just tell you about the basic controls, you know, and how you use this with vehicles and how you use the search function, you know, with the footprint things. Ah, yeah, this thing called the police communicator, yeah. And then they explain in a very short way the map functions, navigation systems, the video calls, what you can do, the data scanner, the audio scanner, and the camera functions, yes. And I think with the camera functions, you try to find the footprints on the ground, if I recall it correctly. Yeah, and that's actually it. There's even more in this game, and it is a shame that the menu doesn't explain it, you know, in any kind of way. Yeah, so minus, this is a big minus, unfortunately. Yeah, so, and then we have the exclusive minifigure, 4 pieces we have here. Yeah, and that's it. And it's still sealed, and I don't want to open it, but I can show you some pieces of Chase, and that is here. Where's his head? Ah, there's his head. Come on, head, show yourself. There is his head, yes. So it's just 4 pieces, and that's it actually. And I don't know if there is a certain value just with this minifigure. At least the limited edition, like the way you see it now, it has a price on the price on the used market is something like 35 euro. Yeah, and that is okay, let's say it like that, you know. I mean, it's not too expensive and it's not too cheap in this case. If you want a PlayStation 4 version, for example, and I think there was even not, let me think, a limited edition, just a standard version, this costs something like 30 euro also. Yeah, wait, let me put this back. Decent. Yeah, if you want to purchase Lego City Undercover and you have, for example, an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4, I would go with this version because these are more enhanced, you know. Yeah. Do I recommend the limited edition? No, actually not really. If I knew it before that just the limited edition is the minifigure, I would not have this as a present, you know. And even my girlfriend didn't knew it. She ordered, I think, it through Amazon, you know. She saw an image and she thought she could make me happy with that, yeah. So this is missed opportunities in so many ways. No real manual, no poster. There's actually no love in this limited edition at all, you know. They just made a box, they put the game as a standard game in it, and together with the minifigure, and that's it, you know. And then they call it a day, and yeah. And I don't know how many people are really happy with the limited edition. I am unfortunately not, but the game is still nice. But I must admit, for the real experience, I always play it on the Wii U because then you have the tablet controller. This adds more immersion, at least for me. Yeah, thumbs up for the game and thumbs down for the limited edition. Do you guys have sometimes this problem also when you want to buy a video game, but before that you inform yourself, you watch video reviews and you read a lot of articles to inform yourself, and then you think really, you believe that this game is really something special, and even when, for example, the editors, you know, gave a lot of positive reviews, then you think, oh, this must be an awesome title. And then you buy it, and then you notice immediately, no, I don't like this game at all. Luckily, I don't have this so often, but lately I have a good example for that, and that is with the Ninja Savers Return of the Warriors. Yeah. Because this is an enhanced remake of a Super Nintendo title what came out in 1994 in Japan and 1995 in Europe. Yes, and this game got developed by Natsume back then. And this game, I never played it, by the way, on the Super Nintendo. And there was even a follow-up in the arcades in 1987. I never played this also, but I heard a lot about the title and I saw a lot of video reviews. And the gameplay was really solid, you know, because it's a beaten up game, you know, you move from left to the right, you can do nothing wrong. It's a little bit like Double Dragon or Final Fight, yeah, and I like this kind of gameplay. So I thought, you know what, you can do nothing wrong. And I saw this actually in a German video game store, and it was just for 30 euro, brand new, just the standard version. And I thought, yeah, wow, hey, no problem at all. And yeah, so I bought it immediately. By the way, the game was published by, let me guess, a limited run, I think, or strictly limited, I even believe. Yes. Yeah, this standard version, if we talk about the packaging and the care and the love with all the details what you have inside, this is the new standard on the PlayStation 4. Yeah. So if you guys want my opinion about the gameplay itself, I don't like this game, unfortunately, and I'm not sure if I want to keep it or if I want to sell it. I mean, on the used market, you get it already for 20 euro. The Switch version is a little bit more expensive for 50. Yeah, but basically this is a side scroll beaten up, and yeah, and this is the enhanced remaster version of the original Ninja Warriors, and that is quite fascinating. The Japanese name is the Ninja Warriors Once Again, and here in Europe it's Ninja Savior Return of the Warriors. It's a little bit strange. I don't know why they changed the name. Yeah, but the enhanced remaster was developed by the same team who made the original back then on the Super Nintendo. Yeah, so yeah, let's look at the front cover, and it's already promising, I think, yeah. And by the way, side-scroll beaten up just in a retail store, you don't see this so often. I mean, already the period that side-scroll beat 'em up are popular are all long gone. I know that, like Final Fight. But then, so this was even more a surprise for me to see it just in a regular store, you know, yeah. When we turn it around, we have some information. This is in German, yeah, and some screenshots, yeah. It's just a standard. By the way, this is not a special edition in any kind of way. This is just a standard version for 30 euro. You just must imagine. So, and first I must read some notes, because I want to tell you guys what is included. With the remaster version, they enhance the graphics, they add new gameplays, they redrawn the graphics. There is now a 16:9 widescreen support. Local two-player cooperation mode was already an original, and they add some new playable characters. And I think even you can choose optional soundtrack even. Yeah, let's open this up. And don't forget, this is a game for 30 euro, not full price, okay? And then you get a lot of things for that. Like I said, a new standard. You get the game on a Blu-ray, and I like the print design. Looks awesome. Yes, and then first, an alternative cover. Yes, and let's turn it around and let's see how it looks when I put it back in. Yes, then it looks like that. And that is nice. It's hand drawn, by the way. So, but I want to put it back in its original form. I don't know why, but I'm always like that. Yeah, then let's put the Blu-ray back where it belongs. And then there is a manual. Yes, this is a manual. A manual for PlayStation 4 game, you know. I'm excited, yes. By the way, it's night artwork, and it's the same like the front cover, by the way, just a little bit smaller. And the manual, I mean, the manual looks thick, you know, but it is in many languages. So basically let me see, in 5-6 pages that tell you everything what you need to know. First, here's an introduction about the storyline, then there's the interface. Here is the explanation about the basic movement, how you move, how you attack, and how you use your skills. And then you have all your choosable character. Here's information about your 5 characters, what you can choose, you know, and here are the explanation about the special moves. This is everything what you need to know, you know, and everything else, everything what is beyond that is an extra bonus for 30 euro, yeah. So that is really nice, you know, I like that. So, and this was the first thing what I did when I bought the game. Of course, I installed the disc, and then I took the menu, and I was reading the information, and I was already getting familiar with the movement and how I make the special moves and all that stuff. Yeah, so a real menu in many languages, big plus. Then, and don't forget, still 30 euro standard game. You get a sticker sheet with 3 stickers. Hoo, awesome. With a little glossy touch on top. I don't want to use them, of course, but this is really crazy, really crazy. I mean, I don't like the game, but this is so nice for 30 euro. And then, we are not finished yet. Then we get a small poster. Yes, and the poster is, unfortunately, and this is a small complaint, it's the same artwork like the menu or the front cover. It would be nice if they would choose a different layout in this case. Yeah, but don't forget, it's 30 euro, you know, you can't complain, you know, for even 50 euros, sometimes there's even no manual, no nothing, and then you get a small poster. And then I don't have a problem when we just have on the other side just a white background and not an alternative poster. Of course, they could put an alternative poster there in, but then I think you must pay a little bit more, you know. I mean, it's still 30 euros. So yeah, by the way, the quality of the poster, mini poster, is okay. It's good, no complaints. The paper is thick enough that it doesn't feel too cheap, let's say like that. Yeah, so and that is the whole physical experience what you have with this title, and this is a big plus, a really big plus. And it's cheap, and yeah, and if you like retro kind of side-scroll beat 'em up games, give it a try. And don't buy it digitally. By the way, you can do it if you want, but get it in a store, and then you have more value for that, because maybe in the distant future this version has a certain price tag or something, you know, you never know. And maybe in 10 years it costs 5,000 euro, you never know. Yeah, but I'm still not sure if I want to keep it, you know, because yes, of course, physical games are important for me, and in this case, they really delivered. But the rest, I mean, the real game is not my thing, and just to keep it in my collection just because of the physical release, I don't know. I'm still doubting in this case. Yeah, but you guys can give me a recommendation. What should I do? You know, I'm always open for some comments in this case. Yeah. But if you want more information about the game itself, just look on YouTube or read some reviews, and maybe, I don't know, maybe you know somebody who has this game and you have the possibility to try it out. Then yeah, then good luck, I say. The next title is a compilation of a classic series where I was grown up with, and that is Mega Man, of course. Besides Super Mario, The Legend of Zelda, is Mega Man that franchise where I was really digging all my time in it, you know. So that was back then one of the hardest game ever made, you know. So forget Dark Souls and all that stuff. That was the Dark Souls of the 80s and 90s, yeah. And Capcom celebrates the series, the original series, with the with the Mega Man Legacy Collection. In the past, they released some collections also, but this never came to Europe in any kind of way. So and because when they announced the Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2, I was not even sure if it would got released in Europe, so I was importing it through the United States. Yeah, so and what do we get actually? In the first Mega Man collection, you get Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The original NES version, yes. And with the Legacy Collection 2, you get the rest of it, 7, 8, 9, and 10, yeah. And with each of this collection, there come enhancements. A challenge mode, museums history, online leaderboards, a museum mode, some sketches, concept arts, and stuff like that, yes. And you can even tweak the graphics, you know. If you want the flickering for the NES, of course you can add that. If you don't want that, you can turn us off, you know. And that is really awesome, yes. These games got developed by Capcom back then, and for the remaster, for the Legacy Collection, the people of Digital Eclipse put everything here together, you know, and they created really a very good Mega Man experience. So, and by the way, if you want the original version, I mean the NES versions for the NES, of course, they are quite expensive. This is a cheap way to experience the Mega Man experience. Of course, you can download it digitally, but I always try to convince you guys to buy everything physically, especially with the first version, and soon I want to show that. Yeah. Okay, but let's first get some information. The release of Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 was August 2015, and it came out for the PlayStation 4, for the Xbox One, for the PC, even for the Nintendo 3DS, and I believe for the Nintendo Switch also, yeah. And I like the front cover already, yeah, looks really, really cool. Yeah. The original price, what I paid is, and I can guys even tell you this because I still have the receipt, I paid 38 euro, so almost 40 euro. And this is okay. This is really okay, you know. So that was, the price was not too cheap and not too expensive. Yeah. So if you want it on the used market, the PlayStation 4 version costs something like 60 euro. So you see the price, it's already a little bit expensive. So this is maybe a thing, you know, if you want to collect that thing, I would try it now, because later I think it will be more expensive. Yeah. Let's turn it around. And what do we have here on the back side? 6 games in one, including a new challenge mode that remix level for a new gaming experience. Museum mode features sketches, concept arts, and more. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is important. They add even a beginner difficulty, you know, so the game is a little bit more easier for people who are not used of this kind of difficulty. Yeah, the game is quite small in size. It just needs 300 MB on the hard disk. That's almost nothing. I mean, these are just the NES titles, you know. And I think the reason why it is so big for 6 NES games is with all the extra content in it. Yes. And now let's look inside. Don't forget, it's not a special edition, collector's edition, just a standard version. And then, let's put this aside. Then we get, of course, the Blu-ray and some gadgets, some extra things. By the way, unfortunately, no alternative background. It's a shame, I think, but it's okay, let's say. Then you get 2 stickers. Yeah. Round stickers in this case, and I don't want to open them, and let's see if I can separate them. And this one is Mega Man, and the other one is one of the enemies. It sticks unfortunately together, you know. I'm sorry, but I don't want to open it. Then, and this is so helpful, then you get a cheat of all the enemies, all the end bosses with their guns and what they are weak against. So for example, Cutman gives you the rolling cutter, and he is weak against the super arm. And I remember by Vorbild for Mega Man 3, Needleman, his weakness is the Gemini laser. And I remember, and I think Gemini even was the first end boss what you need to defeat, right? No, it was Snake Man, I think. Shit, I forgot. At least for all the 6 games, you get this cheat, and this is really nice. And it has a solid quality, yeah? And it's thick material, and there's a coating on it, so, and yeah, very solid. And here on the other side is the cheats for Mega Man 4, 5, and 6. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and on top of that, you get, unfortunately, a download code. It would be nicer if you had a physical CD, but hey, this is a 40 euro game, just standard, and so I'm already happy. But there is a small problem with that. Capcom says, enjoy these 3 Mega Man tracks. Capcom invites you to download songs from Mega Man 1 through 6. Enjoy 3 tracks from each game for a total of 18 songs. Yeah, and if you guys maybe know, there are even more tracks than just 3 of every game, you know. So, and this is just a download, you know, because a CD has a limitation. So then I would understand if they just cut the soundtrack, you know, just for every game they keep just 3 tracks. But with a digital download, they could provide all these soundtracks just with this download. And this is a complaint. Yeah, I must really say a complaint. It's a letdown, you know, because the Mega Man soundtrack is really iconic, really awesome, you know. But if you want to enjoy it, you can do it even through the games, because every game has a music player. Yeah. About the Mega Man gameplay, I think I don't need to tell anybody how that works. But if you really live the last 40 years under a rock, I can give you a small lesson in this case. Mega Man is just a jump and run with shooting mechanics. You move from left to the right, you shoot a lot of robots, immense difficulty. You have a lot of weapons what you must collect. Before that you must kill the robot master, and first you must know which robot master has his weakness against which weapon. If you know that, then it's quite easy, I mean at least the final battles, you know. And if you defeat all the 8 robot masters, you fight Dr. Wily. He is the main antagonist in this game, in actually all game. And there is a storyline, but the storyline is not really a big thing. The storyline gives you only a reason to play the game. Awesome gameplays, crazy good music. Yeah, that is what is Mega Man. Yeah, and the first Legacy Collection is really a nice to have, you know, because of the extras, because Capcom can show you how they do it wrong, you know, because later in wait 1 second, I need my infos. 2017 they released the Legacy Collection 2, and with this one I paid 30 euro, and I imported this from America also. It came with nothing, with absolutely nothing, just the game, no nothing. So this is a good comparison in this case. Mega Man Legacy Collection 1, stickers, cheats, and download of soundtrack, not just full, but at least something. And here you get nothing. So yeah, so this one is a big plus on the physical side, you know. This is a big minus, but the collection itself is just awesome, really awesome. Yeah, and if you are a Mega Man fan, of course you need these two. Yes, and in a future video I show even the Mega Man X Legacy Collection, I think it called, because later they released that with the X series also. Yes, and I have the physical releases and I want to show it in a video. Yeah, so yeah, good games and very important from the perspective of video game history. Every time when I put some games together for a new video, I browse through my collection, and for this video I wanted to include a PC game. And when I was browsing in my PC corner, I saw a title what I completely forgot. And when I saw the box and I took it in my hand, all these warm memories and this feeling from back then came back to me. And then I thought, you know, I want to include this in the video. And while I'm making this video, there's actually an anniversary, 20th anniversary of this title. And that is Guild Wars for the PC. It was my first in so many things. It was my first online RPG experience what I ever had. And that was gorgeous. It was really gorgeous, you know. But first, a small history lesson. Because when we talk a lot about online RPGs, you had in the beginning Ultimate Online. That was a very successful game in the end of the 90s. Then there was EverQuest, and then came World of Warcraft, and that changed really everything. And World of Warcraft is till this day still a phenomenon if we talk about online RPG. But it always came with a catch, you know. You had to pay the full price for a game, and then you had the monthly subscription fees. And that was a thing what I didn't want to pay at all, because I already paid for the game. Yes, and now I know if you have a huge server with thousands of people, this costs money also. But back then, in 2005, I didn't want to pay extra money because already I paid the game, I paid my internet. So I was waiting for a different experience. And free to play back then you didn't have at all. That came years later. Yeah, and Guild Wars was one of the major titles who changed the landscape for online RPG in this case, because it was the first game, first online RPG with no fees at all. So that means what you just needed was a copy of the game and just the PC and the internet connection, and then you are good to go. And then you had the full experience from an online RPG. Yes, and when I was reading the news back then about that, and I was so excited, you know, and when this game came out, I purchased it, of course. That was back then 50 euro. And yeah, and I had an amazing time. And I met one of the cutest community I ever met on the internet, really. So helpful people back then, really awesome people from all over the world, where I had contact, where we did quests together, we talked, we trade, we had a great time, and that was an experience what I will never forget. Yeah, and that and so I want to talk a little bit about Guild Wars. Yeah, so and that is a thing also. I mean, back in 2005 when Guild Wars came out, that was a major title, you know, next to World of Warcraft. Of course, World of Warcraft was crushing Guild of Wars if we talk about the membership count and stuff like that. But Guild Wars was an interesting alternative for many people. Yeah, and that is the version what you guys see now is the first batch, and this one called Prophecy. Later they released standalone standalone games with the same idea. Actually, you didn't need the first Guild Wars, I mean the main program, if you just wanted to experience the second standalone game that was Factions. You could just buy this one, and that was an experience itself. Later they released Nightfall, and then in 2007 there was even an expansion pack that called Guild Wars Eye of the North. That later got included in the complete collection for the PC also. So here you had all the games together. So the Prophecy, that is the first one, then Factions, Nightfall, and Eye of the North. Yeah. Soon we can look a little bit here about this one, but I want to show that here because this is the PC experience in 2005. Yeah, so that means we still have a box, not a big box. PC games in the 90s had bigger boxes. This is a little smaller one. It's actually a little, almost the size like a DVD case. Yeah, but yeah, you guys soon will see this is still a different world, you know, 20 years ago actually, because this was back then the standard for the PC. And if some PC gamers are watching now, guys, this is really what you miss, because now is everything digital, everything is a download. You don't get nothing in your hands. You don't have nothing in your hands, I must say it like that. And here this game is a nice example how you got treated back then as a PC gamer. Yeah, first the packaging is nice. I mean, it's a solid box with cool artwork. By the way, the game got created by ArenaNet and NCSoft. And soon you guys see that they claim there is no fees at all. They claim this everywhere. It is here, it is there, it is on the back, it is, here, and it's on the menu everywhere. You know, they made a big deal about that, and I can understand that because that was one of a kind. Yeah, so, but let's look at the box. Yeah, this is the front, this is the side, and this is the back. Your skill will be your legend. You prove your worth with every battle as skill. Not hours played decided your faith. Whenever battling horrifying monsters or competing at the highest level of tournament play, it will always be your skill that earns your victory to defeat. Are you up to the challenge? And that is Guild Wars. Yeah, Guild Wars had a different approach compared with other online RPGs. They had a huge PvP arena where you max out your character and then together with your clan or squad, something like that, or your guild in this case, you fight against other guilds. Of course, you could do some other stuff also. You know, there was a huge storyline with, you know, guys, we soon see that. Yeah. So, what did you need 20 years ago? Actually, at least the minimum the requirements was an Intel Pentium 3 with 800 megahertz, 256 MB RAM, 2 GB available space, and the video card. Yeah, you needed a video card with at least 32 MB of and then of course a 16-bit sound card and very important internet connection. Yeah, that was the minimum requirement requirements. And today, I mean, that was back then a certain standard. Now it's totally obsolete, of course. I think even my let me think, my smartwatch is faster than this PC here, what I just named. So yeah. But what is nice already, when I bought this in the store, I got already treated in a very good way, because you could open it like that, you know. And this is nice, you know. Online gaming has a new champion. And I love the art design, yeah. And then you can even open it a little bit more. And check this out. Prove your worth in a world where skill divided victories. Craft your hero. It's your adventure. Be the best. Yes. So, yeah. And then some basic information here. And that is important. I mean, everybody today knows that you needed an internet and things like that. But back then, 2005, not everything was a standard. So many people didn't knew that was an online game. So it says even requires product purchase and access to internet. So some people even, I heard this on the internet, bought this game and didn't have any kind of internet connection, and they got really disappointed because the game didn't work at all, you know. So yeah, really funny stuff. Yeah. So, and now let's open the box and let's see what we got back then in 2005. And that was a lot, really a lot. First, we got some proper CD-ROMs. No DVDs. DVD was still not a standard. So especially on the PC, I mean on the PlayStation 2, that was a different thing, and then the Xbox. But back then with the PC, it was still CD-ROMs. Yes, you get 2 installer CDs, and that is the first one with a nice print, you know. And then he had the serial code. Of course, you needed to create an account. That was, of course, is of course normal. And here is the CD-ROM for the disc 2. Yeah, that was the first thing. And then we got a quick reference guide here with your skill types. And here's the button layout for the keyboard. This was just a standard button layout, but you could suit this to your likings, actually, you know. Yeah. So, and it's quite funny, they even show you how the control works for the mouse. It's actually quite standard. And you see, actually, you use a lot of buttons if you want that, if you want to use shortcuts. Of course, you can do this almost everything with the mouse, and then you must click through the menus. Important thing also, you had a lot of emotes, you know, that you wave hello and goodbye, things like that. Especially for that, these are just some of the emotes. Later in a PC magazine, I cut out all the emotes, you know, and these are all for Guild Wars back then, at least for Prophecy, actually. Yeah. So that was quite helpful for me, at least. Yeah, so you got this here, and on the back here you can see the attribute point allocation and how that works. Yeah, then, and this is so awesome, you get 2 books, manuscripts, they call Book 1 and Book 2. Book 1 is about the storyline, it's about the world, what you are entering, with all these characters, all the races, and on all the things. And Book 2 is technically the manual, what explains everything. And this is so awesome. And we don't talk about a small manual. This is a manuscript. It's really big. The first one has 77 pages, yes. And I don't want to show everything. I just show some tiny bits, you know. So, and ArenaNet put a lot of effort in that. Actually, here you can see what is the content, is the history of Tyria, that is the country where you are staying then. The human kingdom, the old gods, the guild ward personalities, the enemy armies, the regions, the landscapes, and the creatures, of course, yeah. And you get a lot of detailed information with screenshots and artworks. That is so awesome, you know, a lot of text. And if you like this kind of information, you will love that, because they put a lot of effort. And before I was playing the game, I mean, this was my first online experience, and I didn't knew anything about the country, the races, and all the kingdoms. And first I wanted to dive into the material, you know, before I play the game. Yeah, but I must really admit I can't remember anything, just some small little pieces, you know. Yeah, so I like the art design, by the way. And now this is the history of Tyria, and this is the map where you are where you are where you can experience all your adventures, you know, and where you can travel actually. Yes, that is nice. And here they even tell you about the calendar, because they have a different calendar compared to us. And here's a timeline. And then here's the human kingdom. I love the artwork. Yes, looks really cool. And back then, I must really say, Guild Wars was a very gorgeous game. I mean, from the technical standpoint, you know, really. Yes. And then we have it about the old gods. And then the Guild Wars personalities, and that is King Aberdeen. Yes, I remember him actually. And yes, you have a lot different races, of course, dwarves, elves, and humans. And the Char are one of the enemies. Yes, I remember that. You see them quite often actually in the wild. Yeah, the undead, of course. Yeah, and here are the regions and the landscape. Yeah. And the main focus, what I had with Guild Wars, was exploring. I was exploring, you know, really, because I'm always an explorer. For example, games like Oblivion or Skyrim, I didn't play it for the storyline. I played it for just exploring and crafting my own story, you know. And that you can do with Guild Wars also. I mean, you can do a lot of quest things and that, or you can just wander around and enjoy the landscape and have some small adventures, and yeah, and just discover the landscape, you know. Yeah, and that was I was busy for months, really for months, you know. But I was not addicted, you know, because I heard back then already people got really addicted to online RPGs, and they play the game, I mean, for example, World of Warcraft almost for 20 hours, and they disconnected themselves from the real world. I never had this kind of experience. I played, I don't know, 3-4 hours every evening, you know, but it was not that I was, let's say, addicted or something. I loved really the game, and I met a lot of nice people, and but besides that, I had some other activities also. I mean, my personal life. Yeah. So, and this is now cool. Now book 2 is just the manual. And because this is an online RPG, many people never knew what was it about, what you can do, and they explain everything here. So, how you choose your class, for example, your attributes and things like that. So the 6 professions, what you can do, yes, and how the attribute system works. And then you have the warriors, for example. I never played a warrior, actually. And the funny thing is, in the beginning, when you start the game, you choose a class, and later you can choose a second class also. So my first character was an elementarist. So he could throw fireballs. It's technically a magician. And later I add the ranger skill. And with the ranger skill, you had some pets with you. And I like that, actually. Yeah. So by the way, this is the ranger. Then you had the monk. This is the healer. And then, of course, the magician. Yeah. And then the mesmer. And he was for illusion. Yeah. Master of illusion and control. Yeah. And then the necromancer. Yes. And with later the expansions, they added new characters also. Yes, and then you had a level editor. Back then you could change the physical appearance of your character. Yeah, and then here chapter 2 is about playing Guild Wars, how you play it. You know, you could play it really almost with the mouse itself, or with a combination keyboard and mouse. Yeah, with a lot of shortcuts and things like that. Yeah. how the map system works, where you can see all the areas, because Guild Wars was in this case different than other online RPGs. When you entered a town, then you went on a real big server with thousands of people, but when you left the town, actually, every time the server created an instance for you. So that means you are just alone by yourself. If you had a party, you took the party with you on this part of the server, and then you experienced the game in a group. But when you went outside alone, and that was a small thing for me, I felt really alone. I mean, besides the monsters and the nature and all the animals, there was nobody. So it was impossible to meet other players while you are in the wild. You only experience that, in this case, when you went into a town, something like that. And the problem was, let's say you have a group together with some people, and you went out into the wild, and one got disconnected. Then you had to move back to the town and had to wait that the guy appears again. If you guys know what I mean. Sorry, that was a bummer back then, I must admit. Yeah. And here they tell you how to create a party, how you buy and sell things, how the chat works, the weaponsmith, the skill trainers are important, and traders. Yeah, and here's the basic thing about the combat. You know, here's the skill bar, here's your health meter and your mana meter, and here are all your skills, what you can add. So yeah, and this is awesome. You know, how much time they put into this manual with all the details, you know. And this is about the skills of the characters. So yeah, a lot of things. And then the guilds. The guilds are really important. Everybody can create a guild. Then you can later have a guild hall. And then, of course, you can meet other guilds, and you can compete with other guilds also. Yeah, that was the main thing. And then it's about the mission and quest system. Yeah, and then here, of course, the tournament play. I must admit, I played PvP mode, I think 1 or 2 times, but I was not really good in that, you know. Yeah, but I heard there was a lot of tournaments back then. Yeah, that was the experience back in 2005 when we talk about a PC game that is so awesome. Yes. And guys, guess what? Because of the 20, I mean, before this video, I went on research, and then I figured out that Guild Wars had his 20th anniversary, you know, and I was curious if the servers are still online. And up till this point, the servers are still online, and what you just need is to buy the game. You can buy the game on Steam, on the website of ArenaNet, and then you get actually this version here, just a digital version for. There was now a sale. Normally it costs something like 10 euro. Now you get it for 6 euro, something like that. The whole experience. Yeah, that is really awesome. And guess what? I paid 7 euro for the digital version, and I tried it out again. And maybe, I'm not sure about that, if I do a long play about that. But I wanted to know if the servers are still functional. Yeah, and they are. Then in 2005 they released, and no, 2006 they released Factions, and then Nightfall, and in 2007 Eye of the North came out. And later they completed everything with the complete edition. And I was just waiting till this collection came out, and I bought it just for 50 euro, I think. And then I had the whole experience. Unfortunately, in this case, you don't get so much. You get a paper sleeve. That is okay. And this time, the whole experience of Guild Wars is on a DVD. Here on the back, 4 games, 1 epic adventures. Join millions of players worldwide and together explore a spectacular online fantasy world spanning 3 vast continents. Play through all 4 chapters in the award-winning Guild Wars universe. That game that redefines the massively multiplayer genre by removing the monthly subscription fees. Yes. that was the major selling point of the game till this point. But today you have a lot of free-to-play games, you know. So yeah, and soon we talk about Guild Wars 2 also. Yeah, and I forgot that actually with this collection you got an exclusive Golem hero, by the way. Yeah. And with this version, what do you got actually? You got the game on a DVD. Woohoo! I like the print design. Besides that, you get the registration card with the serial code, and then you get a quick reference guide, you know, the same like with the Prophecy game, and then a nice artwork. I love the alternative cover design. And you know what? Let's turn it around and let's look how it will match. Because this is the cover of Prophecy, this is of Factions, this is of Nightfall, and that is Eye of the North. Yeah, looks nice. Yes. By the way, these are all female characters, and I don't know why they choose female characters in this case, but it doesn't matter. So, wait, let me put this back on. Yeah. Then, in 2012, they released Guild Wars 2, and that was first based on the same mechanics like Guild Wars 1. You paid one time a full price for the game, and there was no subscription fees at all. The game was quite successful, but it was at the end, after a couple of years, it was struggling a little bit, and then ArenaNet made a decision to go free to play in this game. So Guild Wars 2 has still, compared with Guild Wars 1, a huge community, and you can download this now for free. And the only thing what you need to do is to make an account on ArenaNet, and then you can download the game. It's not so big in this case, and yeah, and then you can experience Guild Wars 2. I don't remember so much about Guild Wars 2 because back then I was not so hooked anymore. I think that has to do with Guild Wars was, I mean, the first Guild Wars was my first online RPG. And after that, I moved on, you know. I admit I'm not an online RPG player. You know, I like more single player. But this one is really special, so I never continue with Guild Wars 2, and I never played other online RPGs, you know. That is not really my thing. So, yeah. So, if you want to experience the full Guild Wars experience, yeah, then you can still download it through Steam, and it really works, and you can play the game in 4K, you know, and it's still gorgeous. I mean, yes, of course, the game looks outdated, but for this time, it looked really good. Until this point, it's not really an ugly game, if you ask me. And that's the end of this video. If you guys like my content, give me a thumbs up or subscribe. See you next time, guys, and don't forget to support your local video game store. Servus!